Larry, it's always good to see you, but that's just it. You know, they issue a correction, but they've already got the headline. They've already got, you know, the fomenting of people disappearing. A lot of this rhetoric's happening in your state of California. Gavin Newsom with his stunt news conference over the weekend with ICE and the masks.
You know, Bianca, and it's only going to get worse because it turns out that Gavin Newsom's poll numbers have gone up since he's gone after Trump in this vicious way. His social media platforms have increased. The number of followers on X have increased. So he's not going to turn down the rhetoric at all. He's going to turn it up. And this bombardment for the last 4 years of referring to Donald Trump as a fascist, as a racist, as a Nazi, is having a real world effect. I remember taking a course, Bianca, in college philosophy, and the professor asked everybody whether they would have strangled Adolf Hitler in the grave had you been an OBGYN and knew what he was going to do down the road. And everybody said yes. So once you call somebody a fascist, all bets are off. You're telling unstable people, by any means necessary, take this guy out. And apparently a handful of Americans are doing just that.
You know, I think, too, part of the problem, Larry, is that for 4 years we had wide open borders and ICE wasn't able to actually do their job. They were handcuffed. This was now changed when President Trump came back in. So you have sort of the law and order that returns. But as we just heard from Steve Rogers saying, Antifa has been given sort of this license the past 4 years. The same is here in a way, because now you have sitting lawmakers who are trying to tip people off about ICE when ICE is out there actually well within their powers to do their job, because for so long they weren't allowed to do their jobs. We saw border agents being called that they were whipping illegals. So now they're just doing their jobs and they're being called that they're disappearing people. Thank God that ICE agent found the 5-year-old girl. Where would she have been? Would they have rathered her be with a cartel, get sold into sex trade? I think on the left, some of them actually just don't care at all about the vulnerable, innocent children still to this day.
And Bianca, this is such an important point. For the last 4 years, we've had a minimum of 10, maybe 12, maybe 15 illegal aliens entering the country by design, some of whom are on the terror watch list, some of whom were murderers, convicted of murders in their own countries. I would ask Gavin Newsom and other people who are sanctuary people, what would you do? Why aren't you concerned about the crime committed by these illegal aliens on the citizens of your own state? Tom Homan once said, and Donald Trump said, I don't understand it. I would have thought you'd be welcoming ICE to do something about the crime committed by illegal aliens in your state, but they're not. What would you do? Why did you silent? Why were you silent for the last 4 years when people walk into the country unvetted, unvaccinated? Again, several on the terror watch list, several of them criminals, as Donald Trump mentioned. Some of them were in insane asylums. Where were you? Why aren't you concerned about that? And what is your plan? What would you do right now to get them out of the country?
One more story, too, is about the shutdown, which is looming. Democrats, they want this transgender care to continue on, another losing issue. And, Larry, they want to push free health care for illegals. We know in California, even Newsom had to backtrack on that because it's too expensive, because this is ridiculous, because our government is spending, and these people are here illegally. You know, your reaction to sort of just all these issues, be it law and order, be it transgender, be it illegals, that they are on the wrong side of, yet they continue to double down, hoping that in 2028, it's going to be a successful win for them. I mean, it's really astonishing, especially when it comes to potentially this shutdown. It's going to backfire, isn't it?
Well, again, all by design. There was a union leader named Elicio Medina after Obama got elected. He gave a speech and he said, if we can get 12 million people on the track to becoming citizens and ultimately voters, we will have a governing coalition, progressive governing coalition for the long haul. That was their goal. They hope that once they're here, eventually there'll be so much pressure on Republicans, they'll say, okay, we'll give you amnesty, and then they will change the electorate forever. That is their goal. That remains their goal. That's why they don't want them to leave.
Yeah, well, Newsom's out there saying there'll be no more elections, too. So I don't know. Which way do they want it? No more elections, or they want the illegals to vote? It is all crazy. Larry Elder, certainly great to have you today. I know you're watching California closely. And thanks for your comments.
My pleasure.